Hey guys, Eric with Alpha One. Training stuff for you guys that are new, that are coming on board. I want you to know some of the components of the roof, just in general basic information. Let's start off with which type of shingle this is. You can see these teeth right here, right? These are coming down. These are second layers, basically what it looks like on top of one shingle. This is an architectural composition shingle, 30-year, like it has multiple names. They're just a standard shingle, right? But if you look over here on this other roof, that would be a 3-tab shingle, guys. The difference between them is the wind rating. That's a less expensive material, less expensive roof, doesn't have as high as a wind rating. It's rated for 60 miles an hour. It's warranted for that, right? This particular roof with 6 nails is actually rated for 130 miles an hour. All right, so that's the difference between the shingles. You'll learn that. There's different manufacturers, different colors, but basics, right? Just the shingle itself, architectural, composition, 30-year, that's what it's called. That's a 25-year, 3-tab, 2 different types of roofs. Mostly with windstorm, you're gonna always upgrade them to an architectural shingle. Now here, this next component right here we're at, this is the ridge. Anything that's horizontal to the roof, to the eave line, is the ridge. And then you've also got the hips. So this particular roof is called a hip roof because the hips, they go down like, you know what I'm saying? Makes sense? Now, if you look at his roof, the way that it kind of comes to the front, that's a gabled roof, right? The ridge goes directly out, hits the gable, dead ends, whereas this roof in particular runs out to the ridge, hits the hips, and kind of falls in. Has a little bit higher of a waste factor, so this would be a hip roof. Looking across the street over there to those houses, that would be, it's got a hip on this side, but the front is gabled, so that's just both, right? If you order an Eagle View for measurements, it'll tell you which is which. Right here, come back down on this. This is your ridge vent. Obviously, it goes on the ridge. Anywhere you have a ridge, you can put ridge vent. Some houses don't have enough ridge where ridge vent's appropriate. Then we would use a different type of ventilation, whether it be turtle vents, box vents, solar panel vents. We'll get further into that on ventilation and procedure, when to use what. All right, so more components to the roof. You've got HVAC, right? This is 3 parts. This right here is the cap, the collar, and the base. This is 3 different pieces, right? Without the adhesive or without the sealant here, you could actually take this and slide it around. This unscrews and comes off. In hailstorms, this stuff gets damaged pretty significantly. So if you were to kind of come up here and see hail damage, you kind of give you an idea. Right there, you take your chalk and you're rubbing your chalk around, and the chalk won't get into where there's little hits. You kind of see just a little indentation there, right there. Sometimes there's old damage. On new damage, you're typically going to have the spatter that's pretty fresh still. Same thing on the sides. You'll see the spatter marks on the sides of it. Depending on how damaged it is, it depends on whether we're going to replace it or not. A lot of times the insurance companies will pay for it, but you need to make sure if they are paying for it that we are doing the work, right? So this is, I believe this is might be a 4-inch, and that's a 3-inch. Just kind of give you the idea of what the different sizes are. It's not something you want to have to go get last minute when a job's going on, because some of this stuff is specialty and you can't get it at Home Depot and Lowe's. You want to make sure you're getting it on the order if you need it. Over here, these are your pipe jacks, guys. Right here, this is a lead pipe jack. Done incorrectly, this should have been sawed off right around here and then have this folded over into it, just like the one below me. It's kind of underlapped the shingle. With our 4-star warranty, we actually add the ice and water shield over the back of this and up underneath here, so that if there's any no leaks, basically, and it gets a better warranty when we do it that way, that we offer the homeowner. These are PVC. They can be cut on site to rectify this. We spray paint all these components so they don't look like crap. It just makes the whole roof look more uniform. Same thing down here. You see how it's folded in? That's more proper installation. These shingles, when they're cut, they should be cut out with a space around them so that they're not touching. So it's actually done correctly. Satellites, if you look over here. So always need to find out from the homeowner if the satellite needs to be detached and reset or disposed of. If we're going to dispose of it, we'll cut the line and throw it in the dump trailer and take it off site, and we won't have to worry about it. All right, come on down. So you kind of can see how this is falling apart. This is going to need to be addressed. It needs to be sealed up. All these nails are exposed. This is eventually going to cause a leak if it's not already leaking. But underneath here, this is a cricket, right? So this is the way this kind of goes into here. Sometimes they dead end without this and they just fall directly into the chimneys. That's potential for leaks, guys. We can add these crickets typically while we're building the roof, extra piece of decking, maybe some 2x4s. You know, $250 to $500 depending on how big they are. Underneath here is continuous flashing. That flashing goes underneath here. We put our ice and water shield all around this whole entire chimney once we tear the deck off, because this is just a good leak point. You know what I mean? They always tend to leak here. So we put that ice and water shield all the way around it. This up here is the chimney chase. This is the flue. These things do get damaged in hailstorms and sometimes do have to get replaced. It's just something that just comes along with it. These are custom made most of the time. These aren't prefabbed. You got to get good measurements, corner to corner, right? The height of it. Sometimes they want to make them out of copper. You just got to do the measurements and have your correct tools to get that done. Down there looks like it's using continuous along the edge. It's behind the siding. So take a look right here on this connection. So if you look here, you can see this right here, this metal flashing. That's step flashing. So anytime you have any kind of transition where it comes to an end wall, they're going to always have, you're going to need some step flashing on a job. They can typically reuse what's existing, but it's just good practice to have some. At least put a couple, pieces or half a bundle. They come in 100 piece. It's considered a bundle of just the step flashing. It's 100 pieces. So sometimes just have it with you in your truck. So when the guys need it, they have it, right? We don't always order it for every job if it's not necessary. All right, let's see. I think we can look right here again for drip edge. So one of the things you want to keep in mind is this metal drip edge. It's just a component that we replace of the roof. The insurance company will generally pay for it depending on if you got a gutters driven through it around the eaves, or if you've got the paper, the felt paper or the synthetic underlayment tucked underneath it. If it's on top of it and you get an adjuster that's going to be nitpicky, they might not replace it, and you just have to find a reason to get them to replace it. So, all right, guys, thanks.